Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Sox On Tap.
Tony, my first reaction is just, fuck yes, let's go.
Sox versus the Twins. That's where it all starts. Because it all starts taking care of business in-house in the Central Division.
That's right, I'm a meatball.
You got to bring that top button swag, baby.
It is always great to beat the Cubs.
And I'm a homer, so I always say they're gonna.
Dallas Keuchel Lancelin got some beards that you should be afraid of.
What everybody said when he gets out there, it's me versus the other guy, and I'm going to beat him. So I just love that mentality. It's cool and fucking tough.
Steve, would you say that Tony is mad online?
I would definitely say that.
The White Sox winner.
White Sox fans, welcome into another edition of Sox on Tap After Dark. It's Jonnie here alongside Tony Marchese, unfortunately discussing a White Sox 5-1 loss at the hands of the Oakland A's. Even the series up, Tony would have liked to sweep here, but could have said I would have thought that we'd lose at least one game in the series, and this was a prime candidate for it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were expecting the loss to come during a Dallas Keuchel start. Jonnie, I think you were probably one of the people included in that grouping. I was hopeful for this one, but obviously we just cannot have nice things.
Yeah, I mean, I was just hoping for some more bats, some more run support because, in past Keuchel starts, we've had it just explode early, and it's been almost like it's out of reach, except for that wacky Cubs game where obviously, he was pulled, so it was more of a Raylo start more than anything. Sox were in a hole there, but then the other one against Kansas City, that one was damaged early as well. So, at least he got through the first inning clean, and then after that, though, solo shot, the A's tack on another one in the fourth. And then it just keeps going a little bit from there in the bottom of the fifth. That's where things unraveled even further there. So, we'll get into a little bit more of these details, kind of talk some more general White Sox topics here. But before we do, listeners, make sure you are visiting ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Give us a follow on social media at Sox on Tap and at OnTap Sportsnet. If you enjoy the podcast, go give a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And when you need White Sox merchandise, Grandstand is the place to go. Visit them right by the ballpark, 35th and Wallace. You can shop online, grandstandsox.com, and hit up their social medias at Grandstand Sox. So, Tony, as we'd mentioned, alluded to a little bit here, Dallas Keuchel on the bump tonight. The combination of pitching, I put it in here in our notes as Dallas plus the cow pen, as Buzz deemed it on a previous show. That means not having the top guys out of the bullpen there. That's usually going to result in the loss. And I put, would you think it's safe to say 99 times out of 100, probably a loss, that combination?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're getting something miraculous from your offense, which didn't show up tonight at all, I'd say that's a fair estimate there. Yeah,
so that's where you're at, though. Overall in the night, starting from the top here, Dallas Keuchel, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, and he allowed 1 home run. That was to Matt Chapman. That would lead off the scoring in the bottom of the second inning. Put the A's up 1-0. A's add on more in their half of the fourth. RBI single by Gomes makes it 2-0. And then we have maybe we have 2 highlights of this game for the White Sox, but one of them coming chronological order here is in the top of the 5th inning. White Sox look like they have something going, Tony. Lurie Legend lead off double, Brian Goodwin singles after Vaughn strikes out. Cesar Hernandez, the little chopper ground ball over to first base, but Matt Chapman throws the ball behind his catcher, and White Sox able to score a run there. But unfortunately, we're not able to do much of anything after that, even though they only had 1 out, guys on second and third there. And that was kind of a theme for me. One of the things I wanted to point out, you had missed opportunities in the second, first and third with 1 out, and the 6th again, a leadoff single, and then 3 straight Ks after Abreu had gotten a second on a wild pitch. So missed opportunities, name of the game for White Sox offense tonight. Not very opportunistic overall.
No, not opportunistic at all, Jonnie. And that's, again, beat a dead horse here. We've seen this story before. We'll continue to see it again. It's, for as much as we get frustrated with it, it's part of baseball. It's going to happen. It's unfortunate that it happens here, though, Jonnie, because, you and I stayed up late. We consumed a couple of beers. We were excited to do exactly what we did last night, again tonight. The runners in scoring position thing, it's either you're not getting enough guys into scoring position to score, or they're not executing when they do get there. We've seen both sides of that coin over the past week. And tonight was just as brutal as the other night when they didn't get a runner on second base until the ninth inning with 2 outs. So, just it wasn't pretty offensively outside of, you might call it a gift run, but you just can't do that, Johnny. You're not going to win many ball games that way, despite whoever is on the mound.
Yeah, 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, 7 left on base for the White Sox tonight. That ain't going to get the job done, so no real need to dig into it too much further. Other than that, in the bottom of the 6th, that's where the A's would chase Keuchel from the game after a Pinder RBI triple. Ruiz comes in, first batter, RBI single right there, so that adds the 5th run. All of those ones tonight going to Keuchel, and that would be it for the scoring in this game. I guess the only other highlight, White Sox-wise, like I had mentioned, was in the 9th inning. You were probably upset when it happened at the time because Romy Gonzalez comes in to pinch hit for Gavin Sheets with 1 out, but he did record a single up the middle for his first MLB hit. So I guess that's, congrats in order for Romy there.
Yeah, Johnny, I saw you try and make light of the Gavin Sheets love on the old twitter.com there. Cause, I got to admit, I do love Gavin Sheets very, very much. He might be my favorite professional athlete since Marian Hossa graced the ice with the Blackhawks, and before that, Dion Viciedo when he was on the Chicago White Sox. Because I like guys who I've been in attendance for their first home run, so I may or may not have become infatuated with Gavin Sheets. I think that if you look at the pick the click selection at Sox on Tap on Twitter, you can probably figure that out fairly quickly. But I was happy for Romy Gonzalez there. I know what Tony La Russa was doing by pinch hitting in that situation. Had it been a little bit more critical, I might be a little bit more upset, just a little bit more upset. But in this situation, really low pressure for Romy Gonzalez to come into this ball game and take an at bat. He hasn't been successful up until that point. I know he had the RBI the other day, but for all intents and purposes, I thought that was a fine time to pinch hit for somebody. You had a lefty on the mound and Andrew Chafin. And, Gavin Sheets of the lefty. We talked about it last night. First hit against a left-hander. So you can make an argument that would have been nice to see Gavin Sheets in that situation as well. However, just for the sake of getting Romy in at bat and trying to see what you got out of this kid and give him the opportunity to get his first big league knock, which he did, I thought was fine right there. It brought a little positivity to the night, I think. So decent move.
Yeah, because other than that, the title of this episode is No Show. Essentially, it was a mostly lifeless effort overall. We talked about the runners in scoring position woes. We talked about the cow pen overall on that. Beyond Keuchel, it was Ruiz, as I'd mentioned, coming in, and then Mike Wright. Nothing against these guys personally, but you just know they are not your high leverage guys. They are your mop-up guys, and every bullpen needs them. Those are just the guys for the White Sox right now. So luckily, Mike Wright able to work a clean inning. Jose Ruiz did work a clean 7th after allowing that RBI single, and then he got a fly out to get out of the 6th when he came in to relieve Keuchel. So that about wraps it up from stats wise here on this. One observation that I have is Andrew Vaughn in a little bit of a funk right now. Chasen, we've seen this from not just Andrew Vaughn though, multiple players. I mean, hell, there's a period of time I think in late May, early June with Jose Abreu chasing the same kind of stuff that Andrew Vaughn is here. Any insight into what's going on with Vaughn gone summer here?
You know what, Johnny? I was actually looking at stuff today when I was working on my Gavin Sheets article, just kind of perusing through some stats and everything and looking at, Andrew Vaughn came up in this as I was looking at young players who are on the White Sox right now, just trying to compare and contrast where guys are at. And if you look at what Andrew Vaughn's body of work is right now, it's fairly decent. But the offensive numbers, at least in my opinion, Johnny, they're not really jumping off the charts. We've seen flashes with him where he's been a very productive member of the offense, but you've also seen some stretches where he goes cold. I don't have the stats in front of me. I wish I did right now, and maybe I'll dive into this a little bit more. But when I looked at Gavin Sheets versus Andrew Vaughn earlier today, and I feel like I'm just perpetuating the I love Gavin Sheets notion here, but I was actually kind of surprised. I mean, the sample sizes are completely different. But one thing that I noticed with Andrew Vaughn, and it's kind of a side takeaway to what I was looking at today, is that the offensive numbers don't really jump off the plate at you the way I expected them to. And I maybe haven't looked at his numbers in a little while, but it's nothing that's super sexy, right? It's not all that impressive, so to speak, where you're looking at a guy who you're middle of the order guy. But what's going on with him? It's his first major league season, Johnny. It's his first major league season. There's going to be some growing pains for him. We've got to take into account that, this is, the jump from Double-A up to the major leagues, first full year, shortened season last year. There's so many factors at play with this that I don't know. I still think he's going to be a productive guy down the stretch here, but guys are going to go cold. And I don't think that Andrew Vaughn has taken the kind of heat yet, and he might be putting himself on the radar that a guy like Yohan Moncada might be receiving right now, or even Cesar Hernandez. But there's just, there's going to be cold stretches for these guys, and especially the young guys. They're still learning. There's so much new to this team. Gavin Sheets is one of them. Cesar Hernandez, new player for the White Sox, not new to the league, but adjustments need to be made. I just think Andrew Vaughn's in one of those periods where, he's down and other guys got to pick him up.
Right, exactly. I think there is a longer leash there, and rightfully so, just with the lack of minor league experience that he had jumping right into the major league roster this year with only, pretty much a half season of minor league ball in 2019. Didn't even play last year because of the weird COVID situation. So, a little bit longer leash there, but just a few numbers to back this up here. First half for second half, 111 weighted runs created plus in the first half, 93 here. So obviously below league average there in the second half there. And then when you're looking at just standard batting average, that kind of stuff. He in the first half 253 versus 231. So you're just seeing some numbers go down there. But hey, look at a guy that we had last year in much smaller, shorter season example. But Luis Robert had an outstanding first half of the year. And then, second half of the year, we've talked about on the show before, really fell off at the plate. And obviously, there's been adjustments made. He's had some more time. Obviously, had time to get things right a little bit, I think, with the injury rehab, getting some work in at the White Sox facility and then working some kinks out in Charlotte, and came back and was trying to cover off the ball when he did. So we'll just be interesting to see. Keep an eye on Andrew Vaughn there. But obviously, you see it. And when guys are slumping, though, you're seeing it reflected in their position in the order. Andrew Vaughn is the 8 hitter tonight. So just wanted to point that out. And I don't think anybody should be, losing faith in Andrew Vaughn and his potential overall. But it's just something to keep in mind because baseball is a game of trends. You get hot, you get cold. He's cold right now. So hopefully, he's due for one of those hot stretches then down the home stretch here.
Yeah, and I don't really get too stats oriented on this show, Johnny, but I did pull it up, and thank you for kind of reading off some of those. Just looking at this one, I didn't really expect for Andrew Vaughn, just with kind of the power that he's shown through the middle stretch of the season. One thing is his expected 162 game, home run number right now is 21. And I think, a guy with 21 home runs in the big leagues in his first major league season, that's pretty impressive. And maybe it's not the rate that you want to see right now. I just felt like that number was a little low for what I expected when the White Sox drafted him. And maybe that's just something that I need to kind of level set, as well as, what kind of toll Andrew Vaughn has taken on over the course of this season, switching to multiple positions throughout the year. Obviously, Eloy Jimenez coming back, kind of displacing him as the everyday left fielder. I know guys can get into a groove out there, and it felt like Andrew Vaughn, at least in the middle of the summer, you call it Vaughn gone summer. Mm-hmm. Summer's winding down, Johnny.
Yeah.
It's fall time now. And this is when it's even more important. I'd like to see, an extended summer, maybe like an El Nino, Andrew Vaughn coming out.
You need the Indian summer, the one that runs into like October,
Yes, that's what we need for Andrew Vaughn right here is kind of that Indian summer resurgence, whatever it is, bring the warm weather through October and just, help lift Andrew Vaughn and this team through the home stretch here.
Yeah, right. So it'll be interesting to see. Just keep an eye on because, if he's getting beaten like this, he's obviously looking at film. He's looking at adjustments. He's looking at how he's chasing things, what pitches he's chasing, when he's chasing them, what the count is there. I would imagine that's all taken into account. And, you got, let's just be honest, you got a more competent coaching staff surrounding you this year. So will be interesting. I know Frank Menechino has caught a lot of heat, but it's not on him solely. There are a lot of other guys within that staff that can help out, talk about a Hall of Fame manager there. Miguel Miguel Cairo, former player on the bench there too. He was a little bit more successful than Frank Menachino in his playing days. So we'll leave it at that for Andrew Vaughn. Hopefully he can bounce back here. But that's one thing I wanted to point out. Just on an overall themes thing, though, Benetti had mentioned on the broadcast, man, would have been nice to see him do, something damaging with the bat tonight because it was, he's in his home state, and Cal Golden Bears night at the Oakland Coliseum. So I would imagine he had some friends from college or that knew him, fans of his while he played there. So it would have been nice to see him do some damage there, but oh well, that's the way she goes sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to be too long-winded on it all, Johnny. I think that this is just a down period for him, and you're going to see stretches where Andrew Vaughn is going to look like the most impressive hitter on this ball club. Mm-hmm. It feels right now like it's Luis Roberts' time, and maybe a little bit of Yohan Moncada. The one thing I want to point out here is just the bullshit that is the Oakland Coliseum.
Yes.
Yasmani Grandal hits one off the wall today. Don't know how that didn't leave, but of course he hits one right
like
where
the 18.5-foot wall out in left field.
Right where it juts out in like 367 in like middle left. Just absolutely, horse shit there. And then Yohan Moncada gets a hold of one as well later on in this ball game. And just it looked good off the bat. I think it's out of most major league ballparks. I don't know that for a fact. It just looked that way. Yeah. Also goes out to a deep part in Oakland. And Gordon Beckham and Jason Benetti also brought this one up on the ball on the broadcast as well. Kind of colder there. Looked like 65 degrees when I last checked about the third inning. Ball was not flying out at all, at least for the White Sox hitters. It's again, we're getting into fall here. The Jose Abreu hot August and stuff like that has kind of died down. So you're going to need that little bit of extra power, and you're going to start to see things, Johnny, at least in my opinion, kind of revert to the way they were back in April and May, when it wasn't so hot and people were complaining that, just Major League across the board, and it'll be interesting to look at the data here, but Major League across the board, do home runs decrease as we get into the fall here and how all that plays out for the White Sox offense? Because as Steve likes to say, ball go far, team go far. You have a little bit of a power outage here, accompanied by some weather. That could be some trouble. It'll be interesting to track.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Will be interesting to see, but just only one more game left at the Oakland Coliseum. We'll get into that preview in a second here. But then, White Sox coming back home after that. So at least you'll have a little bit more friendly ballpark, hitter-friendly park that you're playing in for a couple of series when you have the Boston Red Sox and Anaheim Angels at home following this. But before we do that, there is still, like I mentioned, one more game at the dreaded Oakland Coliseum. It will be a matinee start, 2:37 p.m. on the dot. Interesting start time there, but 2:37 p.m. Central Time start on NBC Sports Chicago. That's Thursday, September 9th. A's, Sean Manaea going for them, lefty, and Reynaldo Lopez, the resurgent Reynaldo Lopez on the mound for our White Sox. What are you expecting from this matchup, Tone?
Before I get in the matchup, I want to talk about interesting start times. Johnny, do you remember the promotion that the White Sox had with 7-Eleven?
Yes, I do. When
the 7-Eleven start time was a thing. I thought that was so cool. Yeah. I'm a fan of interesting times on the clock. I like to start meetings at 2:37 just because, it's just something that's weird and out there. But 2:37 start tomorrow, I'm fine with it. Put stuff at the 7s and the 2s because nobody else does it. I don't know. The 7-Eleven start time, I thought that was cool. I was just curious whether or not you remembered that. And
I remember it. That was always nice because it doesn't make a difference in the grand scheme of things, but it also does because it gives you another extra time, a little extra minute.
Gives you one more minute.
Finish that little last swig of beer, so you're not tossing it with the, like the 1/8 of the can left into the, as you're walking up to the ticket gate. Yeah, you get to stand out there, finish it, and then as you're walking in, then you can see first pitch at 7-Eleven. You're not already one batter gone. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you can exit the lot at like 7:06 instead of 7 p.m. to try to get in there. Yeah. So I don't know why they ended that. I guess they're not
sponsorship ended, I guess.
Corporate sponsorship with the White Sox anymore, but I remember the 7-Eleven starts, and I was fond of those because I thought that was a good marketing ploy. But anyway, getting into tomorrow, Reynaldo Lopez on the mound. Is there a guy in the rotation right now, and you can throw the IL off of it, but is there a guy in the rotation right now, Johnny, that you are more confident in? And I think there's only one name, and that's Dylan Cease, then Reynaldo Lopez in the current White Sox rotation that we have right now.
Overall, I would say, if you're just going best guy, Dylan Cease still. But overall, and as of late, because like I said, baseball is a game of trends here. As of late, absolutely, Reynaldo Lopez.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take this one. What was interesting coming into this game, Johnny, it was the first time, and I haven't really been gambling too much ever since the Conor McGregor debacle that happened at my house when all you guys were here. So I haven't been betting as much, but I did check out the money line today because I wanted to see what it was going to be for Dallas Keuchel. And it's the first time that I've seen the White Sox as underdogs in a while. It'll be interesting to see. I haven't looked yet where they have the money line on this one, but I think that this is a game for the White Sox to win. Day game, road game aside, which I know gives the White Sox a little bit of a disadvantage, at least from the feel factor that we've seen this year. Reynaldo Lopez has been just as good as anybody else in this rotation as of late, like you said, with the trends. You drop this one tonight. You're going to have to go in against the series against the Boston Red Sox on Friday. I think they want this one a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see what Tony La Russa throws out there as a lineup. Of course, as I say that, just cover my own ass. It's going to be like a completely rested lineup, and we're going to see just some ridiculousness. But I think that the White Sox are going to want this one just a little bit more, Johnny. I know that we're resting guys. We're trying to get to October healthy, but I think that this is going to be a big game for the White Sox tomorrow in the afternoon. Reynaldo Lopez on the mound. He's your best option right now outside of Dylan Cease. So you might as well go and try and win this one.
Yeah, one comment on Raylo really quick. Outside of there wasn't too much spectacular that happened with the White Sox tonight. But one thing I did notice, they played fairly good defense. There really wasn't too many miscues. What you can bitch about Luis Robert not going too hard on the single up the middle, but that was hit so deep out there anyway that I think the guy was scored. And that's, I know they talked about it. Maybe, you can prevent him from going, all that shit. Whatever. Outside of that, they played nice defense. Andrew Vaughn had a very nice sliding catch early on in the game. Yohan Moncada, a nice play there at third base as well. So if Raylo can, get the guys hit it on the ground or, in the air, the outfielders that we have there, I think he should be set up for success. A couple other notes. It's Sean Manaea, lefty on the mound for the A's. I would imagine that means Sebi Zavala in, just also based on, I know he has a switch hitter, but he played first two games catching both of those. So is maybe in as a DH, but I would expect Sebi Zavala behind the plate. And then I would also expect Romy Gonzalez in there as the righty bat because you want to get him matched up against lefties. I know that was a point of emphasis in Kansas City when he got a start and let off in that Saturday game. So those are just kind of my predictions there. And with that, pick the click. First time I've been able to do it, and he got his first hit tonight. I'll go with Romy if he's in there. And if not, backup will be Pito because he's always in there. So how about you?
Yeah, you know what? I would expect Gavin Sheets to be riding the pine tomorrow. Just, lefty on the mound. You talked about some of the lineup changes that are going to come, and just with the same sentiment that I had with the White Sox wanting to go out and win this one, Tony La Russa totally favors matchups here, so he's going to want to stack this as righty heavy as possible. I'm going to go with Luis Robert tomorrow. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I think that he's been the hot bat of late. I know he's cooled down just a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him leave the yard tomorrow. I want to roll the R. I think we might get Buzz on Tap on the show. It'll be fun to hear him roll the R. So I'm going to go Luis Robert with this one.
All right, I like it. One other note is I wonder if the ghost that is Billy Hamilton will show up, being a right-handed hitter.
I feel like
he is just, in my mind, it's just been so long because I see him. I know he had the injured list and all that, but he's back there. You see him in the dugout. They show all the time. And we talked about some of the just veteran presence and leadership that he brings, and a kind of energy guy in the clubhouse there. But it's like, when is this guy going to hit the field again? Like, it feels like it's been forever. Maybe he's been late game subs, but I don't know if he's started a game. I don't know if you really want that, but with the lefty on the mound, Billy only hitting righty now, I think it's also a possibility on a getaway day.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he might actually slot into right field. I know you've seen some Brian Goodwin during this series. I think if you do throw out there the getaway day lineup, you might see Billy Hamilton take some time in right field. Luis Robert in center, unless you're giving him a day off, which would really screw up my picks a click. I think you'd probably see Andrew Vaughn out there in left if it's, because you're not going to see Eloy right now. So it's a perfect time to get Hamilton some at-bats.
Yeah, for sure. Just my last note there. And then one thing that you just brought up. Yeah, Eloy unlikely to play tomorrow. Hopefully at some point can return this weekend, but obviously has a significant bone bruise in his knee after getting struck with the foul ball and exiting the game early in the series opener. So that does it for the show. Final thoughts, and we'll wrap this thing up.
Final thoughts, Johnny. Last night was way more fun than tonight, just for so many reasons. But it's always great to sit here, drink beer, talk White Sox baseball with you. I am sad, kind of, that the West Coast road trip thing is done, at least for right now, because like I said, I like drinking beer, I like talking White Sox baseball, and let's go get a win tomorrow. I'm excited to see Reynaldo Lopez. Never thought I'd say that. But he's the best option right now, and let's go White Sox.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd second all of that, Tony. Kind of the Sox on Tap After Dark crew. Talk about it here, as we started this thing just a little before midnight. We're rolling into now 12:20 a.m. On Thursday, the day of this finale. So that's it. Yeah, just go out there and right-handed bats. You get a hold of Montes, and then if you can get Manaya, not Montes. You can get a hold of him though. The A's bullpen is touchable, very touchable. So will be interesting to see. That's all I've got. Listeners, make sure you're visiting ontapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Follow us on Twitter at Sox on Tap and at OnTap Sportsnet. Enjoy the podcast, 5-star rating and review wherever you listen, because that's cool and tough, Buzz would say. Need White Sox merchandise. Grandstand is the place to go, located right by the ballpark, 35th and Wallace. Shop online, grandstandsox.com, and visit their social media for new releases at Grandstand Sox. Tony, let's go win a series tomorrow. White Sox forever.
White Sox forever.